All right, let's start off with that number, the 20 million this week, almost 20 million, the most in about 15 years. Now, this is an interesting number because we know during the shutdown, we saw some people canceling travel plans and things like that. So did people rebook at a discount? Did they rebook at higher fares? What is this going to mean for profitability this quarter and this time for the airlines?
Well, I think the most important thing for profitability for peak right now is that the air traffic control system has recovered from the shutdown, from the government restrictions, and the system's behaving more fluidly. Really, what would have been a disaster, what's a disaster for this time of year is irregular operations, weather events that might slow things down. So I think the fact that the system has recovered is bullish overall. Relative to how the situation could have played out had the shutdown extended a little bit more. So I think what we're looking at right now is a pretty good peak season. Maybe a little bit less than it could have been had we not had the shutdown, had we not had the government restrictions. But the system looks like it's prepared for the coming peak.
All right, so you're saying normal operations is the most important part. In all fairness, we've seen other
Yeah.
holiday seasons where some airlines have gotten themselves in some big trouble due to weather or just due to a computer malfunction. I'm not going to name which airline. If you want to, you
Okay.
can. But we've seen that in previous holiday seasons, previous quarters. But just in general, how are fares right now? I mean, the fact that a lot of people canceled flights, they were nervous about spending, and also they were going into the holiday season maybe with less security about their job and other things. So what are fares looking like in just the U.S. domestic air routes?
They're looking similar to last year. I think some of the close-in bookings, if people did maybe wait to book, probably there might have been a little bit of an increase. But overall, I think you're going to see a similar fare performance on better volume, which is going to be, on a year-over-year basis, looking pretty good. I think for the weeks we're talking about. Now, obviously, the weeks ahead of that were choppier. We saw screenings at the TSA kind of down into the mid-single-digit range a couple weeks leading into Thanksgiving, which is going to take a dent out of earnings. But I think investors are going to look at that more as a one-time event and kind of look through to a much better 2026.
All right. So, by the way, Bank of America came out with a look at holiday spending. So last week, holiday spending was up about 4.5% year over year from the previous year, obviously. Should we also take that as a read on air travel as well? Like, are people just more willing to spend on air travel and tickets and just to go places this holiday season? Or are some of these economic questions, is that leading a lot of people to pull back?
It's a great question, and I think when you think about air travel, you have to think about air travel as a higher income consumer sort of market. And I think what we have seen over the years is consumers willing to pay not only to get to where they want to go, but to get to where they want to go in comfort, in premium products from the airline group. So when you hear the larger concerns about the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, you can't ignore those. Those are broader consumer concerns across the overall market. But at the higher end, we're certainly seeing a continued willingness of consumers to want to experience travel in a more premium way, and that's accruing very good benefits for the full service or legacy airlines
Okay.
that we have in our coverage.
Let's go to your top pick in the airline space. What is it and why? Is it all about that high-end consumer? Is that the airline that's your top pick that because they get more, I guess, travelers from the high end?
Well, I don't know if it's more travelers from the high end, but I think the airline business model is starting to change. Where you look at area carriers like United, which I'd probably put in our top pick, Delta would be a close second. You look at these airlines that have really changed the way they're bringing their products to the marketplace. They're finding ways to add amenities, whether it's in the cabin or with clubs on the ground or with their credit card programs that are attracting that higher end consumer. They're willing to pay more a little bit up at the front end of the plane, while at the back end of the plane, they're actually able to keep fares relatively modest and not growing as much as you would think. So when you hear about sort of the airline profitability being one-to-one an increase from all consumers, it's not that kind of phenomenon. What's really happening here is the airlines are getting better at marketing that product, attracting that brand loyal consumer, and then generating a revenue premium that's allowing them to go ahead and produce better financial results. So that's really what the strategy that's being employed here in. It is a very different industry now than it was maybe 10 years ago because of this ability to segment the cabin, ability to add some of these amenities that are attracting the higher fares, and that's turning into a much more, we think, stable and profitable industry over time.